Hello, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here with this amazing, my amazing colleagues. And, now that we have an understanding of why myopia management is so important from a therapeutic perspective and a management perspective, and we understand how the parents are on board and that the kids are more than capable of handling this, let's really delve into why Abiliti. We know that there have been other lenses that have come out over the years, but what is different about this lens and this program, and how does it enable you to succeed for practice or as you're thinking about establishing your practice? So the first thing we always do when we think about a contact lens that people are going to be sleeping in is we think about oxygen, and we think about the oxygen permeability of the material. You might be familiar with the Metacon Z. This is the most gas permeable material on the market. It is approved for 30 nights overnight wear, but it has other features as well that we look towards in terms of comfort and performance. It is a very wettable lens. It has a low wetting angle, and it is, these are lenses that are going to be handled by children. Not that I think children are sometimes better than adults, but at the same time, we want them to be resistant to scratches and breakage. And mostly, we want them to not flex very much, because these are lenses that are designed to sit in a certain position on the eye and to give a certain level of correction with respect to that cornea. So let's go ahead and just take a look now at what the rates have been with this lens. Our experiences have been wonderful to date. With this software and using the algorithm, and let me just preface this by saying, while the Abiliti software is going to take you through the fitting and guide you, we leave it up to your professional judgment to always make the final tweaks. You certainly want to have an understanding of what you're looking for, but we have wonderful consultants to help you along the way. Take a look at these results. There's a 90% first fit success rate for spherical prescriptions, and a 95% first fit success rate for astigmatic prescriptions. So what does that mean? If you can get them in, get those lenses ordered, dispense them on that first pair, you are certainly way ahead of the game. It'll make your staff happy, your patient happy, and mostly the parents happy. So let's now talk a little bit about what this software involves and why does it make management so easy. And this is where Johnson & Johnson has really increased or made the playing field a lot better than some of the other platforms and products out there, because what they're doing for us is they're not just guiding us clinically, but they're taking us through every step of the way of when you want to first see that patient, when you want to see them back, and what those interim checkups will look like. It's actually going to take you through a step-by-step guidance on what you need to be doing at each visit. So the first thing they're doing is they're giving you the computer simulation. When you look at tear layer thickness, you're going to understand how that lens is laying on the cornea, how well it's centering. You're going to make sure you like the patterns. It will take you through the guided fitting. If you need to make changes, you can input your data. And Dr. Ellman is going to take us through that in just a minute. And what's the beauty of having empirical fitting? Well, you don't have to buy fitting sets. They don't take up room in your office. You're not dusting them off. And even better, you don't have to worry about disinfection, which I know we're all more concerned about these days. So Dr. Ellman, take us through the software, and let's just show them how intuitive this is.
Thank you, Dr. Resnick. So I have to say that I started with fitting sets. So when I did that, and it was great, and I didn't think there was any other way to do it. When I heard of empirical fitting, I was like, oh my gosh, I would never do that, because I am a hands-on person. I like to see what I'm doing. And, there was a benefit of me starting with fitting sets, because I fit one ortho-K patient at school on a Friday afternoon, on a workshop, and never saw another patient. And when I got hired, they said, do you do ortho-K? And I'm like, oh, of course. Yes, I do. I did one patient. So, so I was a big believer in having the trial sets and putting something in the eye so I could look and see what it looks like. And when somebody approached me and said, we want you to try this lens, we want you to do empirical fitting, I was so hesitant to start, so apprehensive. I was like, I don't know about that. And I was like, oh, let me find an easy patient so we can get started with this, because I was a non-believer. And let me tell you, once I ordered the first lens, I was like, okay, cross my fingers, what's gonna happen? I put the lens in the eye and it was a beautiful thing. And if you ask me now, which one do you prefer? 1000%, I would tell you that empirical fitting is so much better, because we start off with the right lens right from the beginning. So that is going to, cut our share time tremendously instead of going through several different pairs of lenses. So I'm going to walk you through the Fittability software. This software is going to make it really easy, especially for all of you young ODs, students that are watching this program. It takes a lot of the mystery out of ortho-K, because I know it could seem like it's intimidating. We're having these children sleep with these lenses, and we want to make sure that by far the priority for us, for me and for everyone here, I'm sure, it is the safety of the patient and the health of the cornea. So the Fittability software, it is a computer-guided program that is going to custom design a lens for your patients. In case you're all excited and you're ready to go, you've got your first fit, you have the patient sitting on your chair, and then you go like, oh my God, I don't remember, what is the next thing that I have to do? This is where the Fittability software really takes care of you, because it has like this built-in wizard. It's so simple, and it's going to ask you for all the pertinent information that you need to put in order to order the first lens. So here you can see that you're going to do your refraction, you're going to need your visual acuity, you're going to, of course, collect patient history. This to me is very important to know how I'm going to proceed, whether the patient has worn contact lenses before, or if there were glasses, or if they had any other treatments prior to ortho-K. That's very important. Of course, when we're fitting any contact lens, we want to do a slit lamp evaluation with no lenses. We want to stain the cornea to make sure that the cornea is clear of any pathology and that we have the green light to go ahead and do that fitting. And finally, the only two additional parameters or tests that we're doing, if you really think about it, other than what you do on your comprehensive exam, is really you're just measuring the horizontal iris diameter and you're taking topographies. If you have an axial length instrument, then you want to do that, but it's not necessary to order ortho-K lenses. So when you think about it, it just seems like so complicated, but in addition to what you would normally do on your comprehensive exam, you just need to measure the horizontal iris diameter and take good quality corneal topographies. So here is where once you have selected your topos, you have them uploaded into the system, you're going to enter your HVID, which you have measured either on the topography. You want to make sure that you put the cursor from limbus to limbus, or you could use one of those handy rulers that some companies distribute and just measure the horizontal iris diameter with the ruler. Once you have that, the system is basically going to walk you through the process and ask for the relevant data. The two items that you can customize yourself is going to be the power, and also you can adjust the diameter of the lens. So even though the system is selecting a lens for you or making a suggestion, you can still go and manipulate those parameters if you don't agree with how the lens fits. Now, this is probably my favorite feature of this system, and it is that it allows me to see a simulation of what the lens is going to look at. And something interesting here is if you notice when we have that nice bullseye pattern, we're thinking that we're having central corneal touch. But if you see it here, you can notice that there is a clearance of about 5 to 8 microns in the central cornea. So we're not really touching that. Now I'm gonna have Susan talk to you guys again about the Master Your Ability training, which is where you can get it.
Okay, so just to wrap up here, You know, Glenda, you took us through everything, but the good news, guys, is you don't have to remember any of this. The Master Your Ability training is going to take you through everything you just said at your own pace. You can ask questions, you can fool around with the software. You will feel so fully confident. I loved taking this course, and I keep going back to review. That being said, let's just talk about what just review what the platform does total for us now. So we know that we can engage the patients. Could you just move it to the next slide? Thanks. So we're going to start to integrate the myopia management. We're going to talk to those parents, and we're going to talk to you about how to do that in just a moment. This is a total package for you. It really takes you through it. And I'm telling you that here's two things I love about this. One is that, and I've been in practice for a lot of years, and yeah, life can get a little boring, but having this in my practice has just given me such a renewed energy to go another 40 years, but mostly I've taken something that I knew about 20 years ago, but we didn't have the proof, and now we do, so I can get out there and actually say to parents, I have proof that this works. It's not just because I've seen it over the last 20 years, and we have it all official, FDA approved, proven studies, and it's safe and efficacious. So everybody get on board. It's the way to grow your practice and the way to enjoy optometry. All right, so Chandra, I'm going to turn it over to you, right? We're going to do some questions.
Yeah, so there's a lot of great questions that have come through the chat, but what we're going to do in lieu of time, we're going to ask some of those questions a little later on in the next section. All right, we'll see you back in a couple of minutes.